Guys, welcome to my channel, and we are alive and well. Tell them we are alive and well. You ain't seen me now. Envious people are making please when you see me, don't see me now. Guys, happy Carnival to you. Today is Carnival Monday in my country. So you know everybody's there, the streets dancing, la 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 la, and I'm here reading, la 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 la. Alright, so just a few announcements before we start our reading today. First announcement, $5 raffle is still open and will remain open until Thursday. On Friday, the winner will be announced live. I'm going to pick live so everybody can see. It's fully transparent, right? So I'm going to pick it's two winners, right? And they're both going to be entitled to free readings for a year. So we'll see how that goes. So tune in on Friday for that if you've entered the raffle, and if you haven't, then you still have time to enter the raffle. Okay, all right. The other thing that I wanted to say, okay, so you know that we have been talking, I've been talking to you extensively about the different facets of the Empress, and the Empress is the divine feminine. So we talked about the Queen of Fire, we talked about the Queen of Swords, and we talked about the Queen of Cups. Even though I don't have it displayed today, I'm just gonna, say a brief word on the Queen of Cups, and it's something that I've been noticing, but I've never addressed it because I love answering you guys when you make comments and that kind of stuff. So I've really been following some of the comments, and the Queen of Cups is someone who's very much connected to her emotions and very much aware of her emotional well-being and how emotionally charged she is, and whether her emotions be good or bad, she's very much self-aware, right? And she has to be self-aware because in order to connect with people, you have to be authentic, emotionally authentic yourself. So the reason why I'm going down this particular line today is that if you don't come to emotional union with self, emotional peace with self, know why you're doing particular things, very aware of what you feel and why you feel. If you don't come into union with that, then you're not going to come into union with your masculine. The reason why I'm saying that is, okay, so you tune into the videos because obviously you're still invested. You can say what you want. You're still if you're watching these videos, you are still emotionally invested. Okay? You're still emotionally invested. You may even still be hoping for union. Most likely you are. You may know that it's far away, you may know that it's near, whatever, but you most likely, you might be hoping for union. Therefore, if you're still emotionally invested, you're watching these videos, you might be hoping for union, then when you come on and your mind is engaged with thoughts of all the negative things that have happened, but not engaged in a constructive way as to purge them and make peace with them, and you are saying words such as, well, he can stay where he's at, and he chose over me, and obviously there's a lot of anger. Obviously you have to vent that, you have to purge that. But what I am saying, if you're not looking at these negative feelings in a constructive way with the aim of purging them, then what you say will manifest. So if you say, well, you know what, I don't want him back, then that is exactly what is going to manifest. If you say you want to have nothing to do with him, that is what is going to manifest. But if you're saying these things and still emotionally engaged, and we know that you're emotionally engaged because you're still watching these videos, you're investing time, energy and bandwidth in watching these videos, then you're not being authentic to self. Sometimes it can make us feel ashamed to still be emotionally engaged after everything that has happened. I know it. I feel it too. And a lot for some people, a lot has happened. The masculine has done the most, and then some. So it can make you feel ashamed to be still emotionally engaged after that, to still want to be with him after that. You have to face these feelings head on. Because the sooner you face these feelings, you can purge them and lighten your load, lighten your emotional load, because it's plenty baggage to carry. It's plenty baggage to carry, and sometimes that toxicity, it eats at you in a very physical way. It makes you sick, not mentally unbalanced. You just have no balance in your life, so you have to find a way of dealing with those negative emotions in a very constructive way by facing them head on and forgiving yourself. Because when you feel ashamed, it's a non-forgiveness of self. Forgive yourself. You loved him. You didn't do anything wrong. You love the masculine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So it's really about being emotionally authentic and really engaging yourself and integrating all parts of yourself and the experience. All right, so there's that. The other thing is Carnival Monday, my country. I was kind of stuck as to what to play this morning, but let me just tell you a brief thing about Carnival, especially Caribbean carnivals. Now, every country that has heavy Catholicism background has a carnival. There's carnivals in Spain, Brazil. You know the carnivals, right? But wait, what makes Caribbean carnivals very different is the history behind Carnival, because all Carnival is rooted in the emancipation of the Africans that were enslaved for hundreds of years. All Carnival started because at the announcement of the emancipation of the Africans that were enslaved, I don't call them slaves because they're not slaves. They are people who were kidnapped and enslaved. All right? So at the announcement of their emancipation, they put on their master's clothes. They put on the clothes of the people that enslaved them, and they went out into the streets. So all Carnival is one of the greatest expressions of freedom, and that is reflected in everything that we do at Carnival time. It's a time for you to be your absolute authentic self, your shadow self, your societal self, that facade. You can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do because it's a total expression of personal freedom. It is the greatest expression of personal freedom, to be your authentic self and not care who the fuck is around. And that is what it's all about. So people talk about, they're scantily clad and they're doing all kinds of things in the street, whatever. It's about them being free, and they're free to do that because that's what freedom is all about, right? So this morning, or song that I'm going to play now, whilst I just consecrate the cards, it's a song to pay homage to the African ancestors. It is not a Trinidad, it might be a Trinidad and Tobago song, quite frankly, but it is really rooted in what we call the spiritual Baptist faith. Now, the spiritual Baptist faith is Trinidad and Tobago's indigenous religion, and it's very much a combination of African animist beliefs and African ancestral homage and Christianity, mainly Catholicism, right? And always also has a lot of Hindu rites as well. The Lota, Tara, it's a real amalgamation of our cultures. So that's spiritual shelter Baptist. Okay, so we're going to play that song whilst I consecrate the cards, and then we're going to get into the reading. It's a very powerful, it's powerful, it's a very powerful song. So we're going to pay homage to them today because it is them that have brought us here. And we all have African ancestors. We all do. I didn't say so. National Geographic says so. We all do. Okay? So you can go research that if you like. All right, so let's do this. And hopefully the retrograde doesn't affect this song. Let's see. Retrograde hit me hard, guys. All right, let's see. It's playing. All right. All right. Okay. All right, so let's, with that, as we've called them into our presence, let us begin our reading now. Okay. I'm going to play a twin flame rhythm as well. All right, so guys, let's see what's going on with the karmic. What's going on with the karmic? Heartbreak and pain. That's what. Heartbreak and pain. All right, let's go. Okay. So when DM thinks about his karmic and their connection, how is he viewing it at this time? Remember the last time we saw him, he was wrapping things out and he's trying to figure out how to come to his DF. Let's see what's going on now. How is he viewing the connection? Okay. So the karmic relationship is engaged in discussions about third parties, i.e. the DF. Yes, we have the Three of Pentacles on the board. So Earth energy there. They're talking about us. Well, we got that message last night. We got that message last night. Okay, guys, they're not talking, okay? And if they are talking, it's nothing constructive. It's like pulling teeth right now. Yeah, there's a lot of sadness and grief right now. We have the Five of Cups on the board. I mean, listen, even though this was a karmic situation and he recognizes it was a distortion, there's lots of emotional investment there, especially if there were children. And, you know, this is what I really have so much compassion for these situations, because everybody is affected. We also have the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands going out of the relationship. So very soon I think you are going to receive communication about what is happening here. Yeah, because everybody's bringing their truth to the table now. Everybody's saying everything, because if you think that the karmic did not have a love interest, some of them did. If your masculine was a philanderer, most likely your karmic is a philanderer as well. Because I told you, she is his the karmic, whoever they are, is your masculine's shadow self in the flesh. So if your masculine was a player, his karmic is a player too. He had to see himself. I tell you, this karmic, she's doing real work. Okay, so this was his heart space. And in his heart space, he has gotten rid of all the options, all the delusions, all the illusions surrounding this relationship. He sees it for exactly what it was. And what it was just his shadow self. Him dwelling in darkness. That's all it was. It's him dwelling in darkness. And underneath, of course, the Three of Cups. Naturally. Yes, what else is in his heart space? Let's see what else is in his heart space. Yeah, he doesn't want to make any actions in this relationship anymore. We have the King of Wands in reverse. So absolutely no action being taken in terms of any kind of investment in this relationship. There's absolutely no passion there. He has come out of hangman mode. He was in hangman mode for quite a while. You may not have known this. Because he was trying to look at this situation from so many angles and so many different sides. And when he came out of hangman mode, what he realized is that he must get rid of this toxic tie that he has. That's what he recognized. He had to get rid of it. He had to purge this from his heart. He had to purge it from his life. And why did I say family? Yes, because you know what? Your DM's karmic may not necessarily be another one person or another intimate relationship. It could also be their family. Their family representing their social programming, representing a distorted image of self, representing, remember, the masculine is who he is, a lot mostly because of his social programming, and a lot of that social programming came from childhood and within his family group. So they're not going to want any changes. However your masculine behaves, it is because of his social ties and from his family group. So that is what he's purging. And sometimes to purge some of that programming, you've got to purge where that programming came from. So for a lot of them, they are realizing that they have very toxic ties where their families and social groups are concerned. And they need to get rid of those too. Because they're keeping them back from their ascension. They're keeping them back from their DF. Alright, so what can we expect from this connection by the next time we meet, which will be Wednesday? What can we expect will be happening in this connection? What can we expect? We have the King of Pentacles in reverse. So therefore, if the DM and the DM's karmic came together because of a promise of abundance, financial abundance, we can expect that this is going to be the issue of discussion right now. It's about wrapping up any kind of investment, any kind of financial issues related to this relationship. It can also be that he's not feeling abundant very well right now, because if your DM was one who was very much concerned with the material world, then his karmic would have been as well. And they would have taken your masculine to the cleaners, quite frankly. So he might not be feeling abundant right now. Another interpretation of this card is that he's in full recognition that financial abundance didn't bring him the happiness that he thought it would bring him. He's recognizing that these earthly things that he went after did very little to bring him the happiness that he always imagined for himself. And he may have made investments that went badly. He's waiting for these investments to pay off before he approaches the DF, because he's thinking, you see, his mind is still very much programmed. He's thinking the DF is just like his karmic, that she's going to want something in the material world. She's going to want a material offer in order for her to choose him. That's why he is working so hard on this financial abundance and this Pentacles. But the DF, she's waiting. She's in full recognition that material gain and the material things of this world is not what make a connection. It's all about that energetic connection, that spiritual connection, that emotional connection. That's what she's looking at. But he's still stuck with thinking about the material things and what a man or masculine should have before he approaches a feminine. He's still there in that kind of programming. So that's why he's waiting for his ships to come in before he approaches his DF. Yeah, but in the meantime, he's wrapping up any old contracts or any kind of legal ties that he has with the karmic. So for those of you who had a masculine in a very serious relationship or in a marriage, this is coming to an end. This is the Hierophant in reverse. And the Hierophant is all about those kind of legal long-term ties. So that is in reverse. So that's coming to an end. Look for the angel number 55. That could be a message for you. And also 33. We just came through the 3-3 portal. So master number 33, that's a message for you as well. Okay, let's have one more card for this. And then we're going to wrap this up and get down to our business. What's this? Yeah, he's in magician mode. He's trying to manifest, not just manifest this relationship with his DF, but he's also trying to manifest some kind of abundance. He is still stuck on this idea of material abundance before he approaches his DF, because it makes him feel more confident. It makes him feel more like a man, for a better word. It makes him feel more masculine because he's still in that programming. So he's very much still focused on manifesting this relationship with his DF through manifesting material abundance. But he's truly in his magician energy. He's really stepped into his divinity. He's really recognizing some of his spiritual gifts, because of a lot of these masculines were so unaware and so unawakened that their spiritual gifts was there, facing them in the face, and they had no clue that they had all this stored up inside of them. And I mean, for a lot of us DFs, that was the truth as well. We had an inkling that we had some kind of, psychic ability, some kind of thing there, but it was only through our full awakening on this journey that all these gifts have started to reveal themselves. Because for some of us, it's still an ongoing process. Like every month, there's something new that crops up that you realize that you can do. So he's in the same mode, but he's about to use some of his spiritual gifts. So if some of you have been experiencing any kind of astral travel encounters with your masculine, or very lucid dreams, a lot of messages delivered in dreams, a lot of telepathy, you're having these conversations in your head, it's him using his spiritual gifts as well. So you're not going crazy. It's him using his spiritual gifts as well. Okay, so that's what's happening in the karmic relationship right now. It's wrapping up, and especially wrapping up the legal ties that bind. Okay, so let's go into our masculine energy deck. I don't use this deck for anything else but our masculine. I'm just afraid to change up this deck for readings because I feel like we might tune into a different wave, and we're definitely having a storyline right now. Okay, so you have to stare at these boring cards for a little while longer. Maybe next week I'll do an experiment and see if we still continue the storyline with a different deck. I'll do that. I just don't want to lose the momentum right now that we have. Okay. Alright, so when the masculine thinks about his DF, how is he viewing her and the connection? I'm not calling the sun signs today, okay? We're going to focus on the message. I'll call what card it is. Alright. When he thinks about DF, one thing on his mind, buddy, and that is bringing commitment to her, bringing something solid to her. This is the Four of Wands. That is the only thing that he's interested in right now. And he thinks that to come towards her, he has to have a firm foundation, and he has to have achieved or self-actualized before he comes forward, because DF is no joke. DF is a manifester. DF is a force on her own. She's abundant on her own. So he thinks he has to be her energetic match, not just in the spiritual realm, but in the physical realm, in order to come towards her. That's why he also sees her as standing in her Empress energy. Okay? So she has taken charge of her life. And listen, if you think that your masculine is not watching you, trust me. He is spying on you. He is watching you grow. He's watching you manifest. He's watching you take charge of your life. He's seeing all that abundance, and that is causing him to up his game. He realizes that he can't come in with any wishy-washy energy, because he's going to get cut out. Because remember, Empress is also the Queen of Swords, and she's not afraid to use it. Okay? So we have 4-4 on the board. So look at angel number 4-4. I think it's about establishing foundations. Yeah, the only thing he's focused on right now is victory. Victory with his DF. This is a Chariot card. So 2 major arcana in the first line already. So there's major changes happening. He wants progress, and he wants to triumph. Let's see heart space. What's going on there? When he thinks about his DF. You have brought forth, you have been the catalyst for his transformation. He's also seeing you as going through a transformation as well. So Scorpio energy here. He knows that the old ways, or the old way of conducting this relationship, he could have been in and out, no longer suffice. You will not stand for it. He knows he has to come correct. And to do that, he is saying death to the old self. And we got that message in my cards the last time we met as well. Death to the old. That has been the recurring message. Death to the old, death to the old. So he's dying to his old ways, and he's having a rebirth. He's taken the decision to firmly invest in this relationship, but there are things that have to happen first. If you see, look at this thing, look like the planetary, those planetary alignments there. So there's something that needs to wrap up. There's something that needs to occur first, and I think it's wrapping up that karmic situation. So that's what he's focused on right now. Let's see what else is there. Heart space. What is he thinking? So he's very much engaged in a lot of spiritual matters as well. He's all about action. More so than tender emotions, actually. No, I spoke too soon. He views you as total wish fulfillment. Everything that he has ever wanted in a feminine, everything he's ever imagined in a partner, he sees it in you. But this also talks about him finally coming into his own self-worth as well, which is a good thing, because unless they learn to love themselves, they can't love anybody else. And that was the issue. They had no self-love. So they're now coming into that energy, and because they are overflowing with love for themselves, they can now love us from their overflow. So what are some of the blockages to this connection? What are some of the blockages to this connection? Of course, the third party and the foundations that they've built with others. And it could be their family as well. Let's see, what else? Which we knew that already. What else is blocking this connection? And it could be ego as well, because it says recognition and reward. It could be ego as well that's blocking this connection. Good Lord, what is all this? Yeah, it's definitely ego. It's ego, and it's him feel not, and it's the masculine not feeling confident enough. He's just not feeling assured of success. And it's one of these things in life that, you know, it really has him feeling insecure, especially when he thinks back on all the different things that have happened between him and his DF. He's really feeling ashamed at this point in time. I'm very much ashamed. So we have the Three of Pentacles, the Six of Wands. Of course, he's still dealing with a lot of his toxic ties. And toxic ties may not necessarily be another person. It could be his addictions as well. It could be addiction to toxic relationships, addiction to substances, anything like that. He is working on that and purging that. It could also be that he is also having, there could be kids, because this is a sun card. So there could be kids. So he could be considering children. But it also could be his own spiritual awakening is preventing him from coming towards you, because he's finally seeking the light. A lot of them have been dwelling in total darkness, but now he's finally seeking the light. And for that, he needs time. He's also doing a lot of planning and strategizing behind the scenes in order to make this work. So he's not really focusing on a lot of the tender emotions. He is being very patient, very much strategic, very much unlike the energy that he had previously in your relationship. Okay? Because he wants to do things differently this time. What is also keeping this connection at bay? The karmic wheel. His karmic cycle with the karmic is still wrapping up. It's still there, right? So he's learning how to set boundaries and sever ties. So that's still there. So the universe is still keeping us apart, because there are things that still need to align, especially not even just in his world, also in our world as well. We might think that we are completely healed, but there are things that we may still need to purge. So that's this distance, this separation is happening to allow these things to unfold and heal. The other thing is he's not feeling secure, and we saw that already. We saw that with these two cards. He's not feeling secure. He's not feeling secure within himself, and he's deathly afraid of rejection, and he knows that the rejection possibility is quite high. He's done the math. Especially when he considers what happened before. He's thinking, how could my DF possibly still love me again? How could my DF possibly still love me? Because he's now fully recognizing everything that he's done. He's now doing that. He wasn't in full recognition of his actions. So he's now recognizing that. And he's like, how could my DF possibly love me and possibly want to be with me after that? So what can we expect will be his actions towards this connection by the time we meet next, which is Wednesday. Whoa, let's see. Ooh. He's going to be working on his courage. 3-3 has come out again. He's going to be working on his courage, his self-esteem, his self-worth. He might just pluck up enough courage to come towards you. Let's see what else he's going to be doing. He's going to be balancing himself off. And this card came up twice the last time we had DM download. He is balancing himself off. And that, I think, is such a wonderful thing, because a lot of them have not been mentally and emotionally balanced, nor spiritually balanced. They were dwelling in darkness. So they're trying to balance off every facet of their being before they come towards you. What else? Let's see what else we have here. All right, nice. Oh. He's also going to be feeling left out in the cold. We have the Five of Pentacles here. But I also think that he's going to be dealing with some of the financial changes that are going to occur when he comes towards you, because a lot of them had investments and businesses with their karmics. They did. So they're going to take a hit. And if they're going through a divorce, well, there's alimony. Hello. Okay? You can't get a bigger financial loss than that. All right? So it's all these things that he's dealing with. Very much practical matters. He's very much doing a methodical logical actions towards this relationship. And you know what? That's something pretty steady. That's something pretty steady, and it's very much different from how we approached this relationship before. So I think there's a lot of maturity happening here, and I think, you know, you gotta give him kudos. He's working his bum off. He's finally gotten off his bum. All right, let's take 3 messages from him. So what does he want you to know at this time? We're gonna take 3 messages for the 333 portal that just passed, and we have 33 again. So please, that's a message for you. So 3-3 in the karmic and 3-3 here. All right. Why you not talking, baby? Talk to us, love. Talk to us. Tell us something. Tell us something, baby. You can talk to us. This card came